Well, earlier this week, the insurance commissioner issued an important bulletin regarding insurer flexibility due to COVID-19. Here to tell us what you need to know is attorney Tom Sinus. Tom, thanks for being with us again this morning. Some big topics to dive into. Why don't you start us off with the most important details we need to know?
Well, thanks again for having me. So last week we talked about an insurance commissioner bulletin regarding insurance, and then like clockwork on Monday, the commissioner issued another one. And this one I think really does have some practical implications for everyone in Michigan because, as you know, we are all required under law to carry certain forms of insurance, and then people voluntarily carry other forms of insurance on other things that are important to them. So this bulletin is entitled Insurer Flexibility. And what it really is the commissioner instructing all insurers in Michigan to be flexible with regard to two things. The first deals with payment of premiums. And in the bulletin, the commissioner acknowledges that the COVID-19 crisis has, of course, created extreme financial hardship for everyone around our state. And the commissioner is saying to insurers, you insurers need to be flexible in terms of when premium payments are due. And one of the things the commissioner says is that insurance companies should give consumers a 60-day grace period for paying those premiums and to not penalize people if those premiums are not received exactly on time. The second thing that the bulletin is instructing insurers to do is to give people flexibility when it comes to filing claims. There are certain insurance claims that have very prompt notice requirements where the consumer has to give notice to the insurance company of the event or the loss within a certain number of days. And then there are other claims that require people do things like submit to a sworn statement, a statement under oath. In the bulletin that was issued on Monday, the commissioner is telling insurance companies you need to be flexible on those requirements as well. Because of course, the changed reality in all of our lives makes it very difficult for people to make claims, and it certainly makes it difficult for people to do things like give statements under oath.
What about for people who are dropping, say, car insurance right now because they're saying, hey, I'm just not driving my car right now? What would you suggest? Would you say ride out this 60-day grace period or what?
Well, certainly there's that option, but it's a great question because actually in the bulletin, the insurance commissioner tells people, you know, you can change the type of coverage you have. And there's an example that's used in the bulletin about someone who is laid off and who is no longer commuting to work because they're telecommuting. And if their old insurance policy was the premium was set based on the idea that they were going to be driving back and forth to work every day, it certainly is worth a phone call to your insurance company, and the commissioner encourages that to say, look, I'm not driving to work anymore, therefore I'm not putting myself at all that risk of a possible bad event, and I'd like my premiums adjusted to reflect my new normal.
How about people facing this new normal? Millions of people left without a job. Now, health insurance that was once paid for by a company, now leaving people high and dry. What do you suggest for people who are kind of left in that situation as they continue to search for the best way to care for their health, their family's health as well?
Boy, I wish I had a really simple answer. I mean, this really gets at the nut of some of the struggles we're having in our healthcare system. This bulletin, I can say, applies to all insurers doing business in Michigan, and the language says, regardless of the line of coverage. So when it comes to that 60-day grace period for payment of premiums, I believe that that extends not only to auto insurers and home insurers, but also to health insurers as well. And so for those people struggling, and there are so many right now, for those people struggling, at the very least, I would encourage them to look up this bulletin. The bulletin is entitled 2020-16-INS, Bulletin 2020-16-INS, and keep that in their files for their communications with their insurance companies as they're struggling.
Tom with Sinus Dramis Law Firm, obviously you have a wealth of information. People have questions. Where can they find you?
So they can find us online at www.sinusdramis.com. They can shoot us an email at info@sinusdramis.com, or they can call us. And yes, we're working remotely, but the phones are forwarded, and that number in West Michigan is 616-301-3333.
Wonderful. Tom Sinus, everybody. Thank you so much for your time. It's 8:20.